Okay, guys, so I want to share just a little from the Premium Client Magnet. And first off, I want to talk about something that a lot of people know about, we hear about, we read about, may not really understand it. And it is really important when it comes to marketing and brand strategy. You've again, probably heard of it, dopamine. All right, dopamine. It's a chemical, it's a brain chemical, and it's associated with pleasure, with feeling good, motivation, reward. But here's something that a number of people don't know. Dopamine is not just released when you get something good. That's not only time it happens. It is also released in anticipation of getting something good. Now, I want you to really think about that because that's very important. It's released in anticipation or expectation of getting something good, which means if your content, your captions, your offer, dopamine is happening even before people buy, even before they take the action that you probably want them to take. Now think about this in terms of your ideal client, especially a premium client, a high value, high ticket client. These are people, premium clients tend to be people who are busy, but they're also pretty discerning. They don't just buy any and everything. And their attention is being pulled in a lot of different directions, as is the case with a number of people. But this group in particular, that tends to apply. So the question is, what does your brand do quickly? What does it do quickly to trigger that dopamine response? Okay, that is a real question, not just rhetorical. It's a real question that needs to be answered. Because if you're leading with features, if you're leading with pain, if you are really honing in on pain points, that may not be effective with this group in particular. High value clients, they are they are buying or tend to buy a feeling, a result, a version of their future self. Your job as a marketer, as a brand builder, as a business owner, and this is exactly what the Premium Client Magnet helps you to do, is to understand what lights up their brain so you can meet them there. Okay? So that's the whole thing with the dopamine effect. Do not underestimate that. Now, it is also about speaking their language. Very important. So essentially, speaking your ideal client's language, it's not just about being clever, it's not just about being memorable. Those things certainly help, and especially being memorable, that can really make a big difference. But it is more so, and more importantly, it's about articulating their desires with every single interaction, or as many interactions as possible, whether it's a post, whether an email, whether a caption, a video. The mistake that is often made, especially from people who have been in corporate America and have major expertise, they tend to talk more about their process. They tend to talk more about the actual product or service versus talking about and really focusing on the desired outcome of their prospect. They do not focus as nearly as much on that desired outcome, on that result, that transformation. So what that kind of looks like is if you, for example, have, let's say, a leadership expert or an operations expert or coach. And this person says, I help executives develop strategic frameworks for organizational alignment. Okay, that sounds, I don't even know if that sounds good. It sounds, I guess, professional. It sounds like extra words, like more words used than was actually needed. But is it really conveying what you do, what transformation you can help bring about for this client? And your prospective client hears that, a statement like that, I help executives develop strategic frameworks for organizational alignment, and they're thinking, okay, what does that really mean to me? How is that going to help me? What is that going to do for me feeling overwhelmed? What is that going to do to stop me feeling like I'm constantly running on fumes? Like, they are still waiting to translate that into a result that they resonate with, that they understand. Okay? So see the problem there and the gap there. So the premium client typically is not asking, how does this work? They're asking, is this going to get me where I want to go? So it's not all about the how. I'm not saying the how absolutely does not matter. I'm just saying, don't focus as much on the how. Focus more on the result. And this is why it's important for you to know what result your prospective client is most looking for. Not the result you think they should have, not the result you think they need. What result, and it could also be a result they need, but what is the result they want? What is the result that is top of mind for them? That's what you need to know. That's what you really need to zero in on. And this doesn't happen by accident. This happens because you've been intentional, or you are being intentional. You're doing the work to understand not just who your client is in terms of demographics. I say this all the time. You have to go beyond demographics. It's fine to know their age, their income, their gender, this kind of basic stuff, but you have to go beyond that. You have to know what they are feeling. You need to know what may keep them up at night. This is when you know that, that is when you can really speak to their desires. And that brings us to things that high value premium clients tend to buy, tend to spend money on, like regardless as to what is happening, regardless as to what's happening in the economy, what's happening in the marketplace, what's going on with AI. These are just things that high value clients tend to buy. And frankly, these things are what a number of consumers spend money on, but high value premium clients especially tend to spend money on these things. So let's get into it. And some of you may see this and you may think, this may certainly look familiar to you, or you may be like, yeah, I would agree with that. Number one, exclusivity. People want to feel special. They want to feel that they are doing something, or they are taking part in something that everybody else is not. That's where the exclusivity comes in. Okay, don't underestimate this, especially with this group, exclusivity. Number two, luxury. A lot of people really are into luxury, and perhaps more than what you think, and more than what some people let on. Because here's the thing. A number of people don't want to admit that they're into luxury. They are concerned about how that may make them look or seem, or they don't want to seem arrogant. They don't want to seem inconsiderate of others who may not be able to get luxury or, buy luxury. But a lot of people are into luxury. So just keep that in mind. Third thing, once in a lifetime experiences. This is why, uh, whether it's Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Usher, these people that sell out, they have been on tour. All three of those people I just named, they have been on tour. They have done shows within the last 2 or 3 years and sold out. And none of those people's tickets are cheap, like at all. Even the quote unquote nosebleed seats, like the not great seats, are still not cheap. And their shows consistently sell out because there is this perception that this will be a once in a lifetime experience. People who experienced Michael Jackson when he was still here, people who experienced Prince when he was still here. These are examples of once in a lifetime experiences. That this is what people tend to think about these type of events, these type of artists. Some people view going to the Super Bowl. It could be the Super Bowl. It could be NBA final game. If you are a big football fan, a big basketball fan, you may perceive something like that as a once in a lifetime experience. You're not sure if you will get to experience that again. So anything considered once in a lifetime, people will pay for it. People tend to pay for it. And customization. Now, these are just a few things. I cover several other things in the Premium Client Magnet, but these are just a few things. Customization, again, it goes to people wanting to feel special, people wanting to appreciate it, personalization, feeling as if this is something made just for them. That is really important. So again, I wanted to just give you a taste of what's in the Premium Client Magnet guide, and also just cover some things to really get you thinking about how to best connect with this group effectively, how to connect effectively with high value premium clients. If you want more, and as I mentioned, if you want to get more of what people will buy no matter what, you want to get more about this language and this framework and positioning is really important, and it's something that's often overlooked. You want to grab the Premium Client Magnet guide. There should be a link depending on where you're seeing this. If you're seeing this on YouTube, it will be in the description. If you're seeing it elsewhere, it should also be in the description or caption. But make sure you grab that to go deeper into all of this. Again, the language frameworks, the pain versus success or pain versus aspiration positioning, because again, pain points, speaking to pain points can work, but that does not work as well as you may think it does for this particular group, for high ticket premium clients. It's kind of a different ball game. So make sure you grab that. And if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? I invite you to subscribe if this kind of content you enjoy, you get value out of, and let me know. Certainly, if you got value out of this, let me know in the comments. If you have questions about anything that we've covered right, in this video, certainly drop that in the comments as well. And let me just make sure I am not forgetting anything. I do not believe so. So until next time, this is Rachel Thibodeau. Um, Okay, something popped up that should not have been there. But until next time, take care and take some action and grab your premium client magnet guide. It is absolutely free. Not sure if it will always be free, but for now, it is absolutely free.